Okay, so what we're going to do today is basically add a blog. And the reason for this is that I was thinking about adding a recap here. So the first thing in adding this blog is I'm going to create, so it looks like I start off here, doing this kind of like standard blog thing where I'm just adding a route. But I'm actually going to use Laravel Folio. So Laravel Folio, what it does is it sets up basically like a file-based routing system. So I'm just checking out the Laravel Folio documentation page, but you just require Laravel Folio, and then you do the vendor publish. And what that does is it sets up a pages directory inside your views, right? So you can see there's that pages directory. And then I set up a new folder for blog. So I'm just, doing a little, I don't use Laravel Folio that often. I just sort of know the concept of it. So this is just a test to see. Okay, we're getting to the index, so that's good. So the purpose of this is that when I make a blog post, I just want to be able to add it. I don't want to have to add a route to it. I don't want to have to add these other things. I just want to be able to write the blog post and add it up there as a file inside my blog pages/blog folder. So the first thing I'm doing here is, adding the sidebar here. So it's split into different parts because the sidebar is going to be the same for every blog post. So I want to kind of make that, make that blog sidebar include just part of it. So now it's there, now the include's there. But actually what I really want to do is I want to take this whole page and make it all start from the same place. So I want to have the same layout and then, do the Laravel blade way of yielding to different parts of the page. So you have like one main layout, the app.css or whatever you want to call it. Not CSS, but the app.blade. In this case, I think it's going to be, I think I called it shell, or I'm about to call it shell. But, the purpose here, what I'm doing here with all these different sort of little changes here and moving stuff around, I am creating that shell. So right now it's called index, and I'm just kind of putting the stuff in place to make sure that everything, kind of fits together here. Turning off this, or putting back on the refresh, the HTTP equiv content equals 5, refresh every 5 seconds, so that we can see it update as we work on it. Okay, so I'm still working here in the blog.index. So this is 2024 in review, the year of HTMX. I'm setting up a route for it. I'm setting up a link for it. So let's refresh this. So you can see that it's going to show up there now. I'm going to do some writing in this one, but I'm going to speed through those places quite a bit. You can see this video, I'm already putting this at like 4 times speed here. But I want to make sure that I sort of cover how this is done. So just adding a blog to it, so far all I've done is add that link up at the top, and then I've changed it so that when you go to the blog, it goes to this blog pages.blog.index. But actually, I don't quite want to do that. So I don't think in the video I have not realized that yet. But I think what I want to do is actually have a shell file here. But right now what I'm doing is I'm setting up, making it a link so that I can click on this and this is going to be the list of all of the blog posts, right? So this index page should have every blog post. Right now, this is going to be the only one for now. And it's not database driven at this point either. It's just files. And that's fine. That's the way, for a blog, what's the point of putting it into the database? You could have like a whole editing thing. You could have like a WYSIWYG editor and make blog posts and create your own CMS and all these kind of things. But it's just easier sometimes to just write the HTML for a blog and try to keep it simple. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm adding this. You can see I'm in the /pages/blog, and then I give it the name of the URL that I want, 2024, the year of HTMX. And now, because this is in Laravel Folio, when that route is hit, I don't need to add a new route for that blog post. It's just going to show up there. So here's where I start to realize, okay, you know what, it's not really going to work to just have a separate HTML description with all these includes. I'm gonna make a layout, and then I'm gonna yield these different sections. So this is the main section for my blog post and for my index. I'm using the same layout for the index and for the individual post, because they're gonna have the same navigation at the top. They're gonna have the same navigation at the left. So extend shell, right? So shell is gonna have all the main info here. And then I'm yielding to the sidebar. So now in my index, I create the sidebar. So I have that section sidebar, section title. So all the places that you have your main layout, but then you create these sections and you yield to those section names, so that when you create your page, all you do is you create those section names and you put HTML into them. That's just, that's blade templating. That's a whole separate part of this. But the concept is pretty straightforward. We're going to be reusing these same layouts, but we have the main section, we have the sidebar, we have the navigation up top and the title. So now we're just testing it out. Okay, good. So here's my post, and I don't have anything in the sidebar yet, right? All I have is that logo, but I am going to want to reuse and have the list of all the blog posts down there. So here we go. Include blog.posts. What am I going to do here? I'm creating a new file here. So this is going to be the list of all the blog posts. Right now there's, just going to be the one, but I'm going to be able to just include this, make each a link. Probably going to style this a little bit. Pages, okay. So you can see now we've got that left-hand side navigation. And we still have this kind of fake logo in here, the Hype CP logo. I'm gonna figure out whether when I want to work on that. There's a lot of stuff to do when you build a site, So I've been building this, and every single bit of this site has been videotaped, has been recorded. So it's really only a couple hours. It's probably like 6 or 7 hours total. Which it's like when I'm working on stuff. Sometimes it's hard to record everything you do, but for this particular one, I'm really trying to make sure that I record everything, just so that it's like a build in public thing. This is a new idea here. Okay, so now I'm just adding some other kind of information here that would normally go along with the blog post. All right, so, and what do we need to do here? We need to give it a little bit of spacing. Change the color a little bit. See, I'm just trying to make it line up, look nice, I'll probably need to do more of this, just messing around with this later on as well. Because this is not, even when I finish this video here, this is still just like a first draft. I'm not too worried about, and you can see these are my notes. So I'm putting all my notes in there so that I can see, all right, here are the things that I want to be in this blog post. This is my normal way of writing. I just put down my sort of stream of consciousness in these little notes here. And then I go through and kind of just make sure that everything in those notes is mentioned in some way, and just kind of use it as a guide for my actual writing. But I like to just have these kind of like little thoughts. Then it's easy to put those little thoughts down, and then I sort of organize them in the way that I want. You can see there's a couple spaces there. The intro, the year of HTMX. Okay, so what I want to do here is have some visuals. So let's start with some graphs and numbers. So I've done this, and just as a background, I track all my time. I use something called Toggle, and I've been doing this since 2014. So literally all my time. If I'm ever working on anything, I put that, I start my timer and just say, I punch in and I punch out. Even if I'm just sitting down at the computer for 10 minutes and I'm looking at some emails, I'll just log that, because Toggle makes it really easy. It'll also remind me, oh, well, you forgot to turn off your timer. Do you want to, go back to when it was active or something like that? So I have all this time tracked. I track all my time in 2024 on which project I'm working on. So this is information that, I haven't really done one of these annual recaps here. But it is interesting to know. So, so I got my data, I got my numbers from the Toggle, time tracking thing. So I'm going to try, here is where I try to use AI. And I'm like, okay, maybe AI can just generate a quick, maybe AI can just generate a generic 3 pie graph thing, and it absolutely cannot. It tries to draw like a 17 chart pie graph with all these fake numbers, and I just wanted an empty, really simple pie chart. So I found this one, metachart.com. Just helps you build quick little images of pie charts. And I don't really use these that often, so this is just kind of for the purposes of this. So the 3 categories that I have, though, are client work. I have my own personal SaaS, and then I have the hypermedia. Okay, so we've got our different things here. That's our client work, our revenue. I'm just taking some screenshots. So the revenue, most of the revenue comes from the client work. So I'm just going to put these images into the correct place here. So you can see, I took these screenshots. This is just faster than like downloading it through their system. Just take a quick screenshot of what you want. Make the directory for it, put the screenshot there. And now we have our images. So time, I just, call them time and revenue. Save. Okay. So time spent, you can see there's 4 different categories there, and then revenue source. Okay, so now we can kind of we have all this, we have our charts. I'm just going to fix those charts a little bit. And now I'm going to start, typing and just kind of writing. This whole bit here, I'm just going to speed up. Boom, we can listen to some music and just watch the writing happen. So that's the blog post added, and you can check it out if you want to. And yeah, that's about it.